Well, hey friends, it is Amanda with Metal Modern Design and Deep South Shelling coming to you tonight in my part of the Spring Craftathon. I hope that you guys are well. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, I'm going to show you a really cute project tonight. We're going to create this beautiful little beach scene using some oyster shells, some crushed glass, and just the cutest little beach scene. I'm gonna angle you down and we're gonna get started. Okay. So I have gathered all around me the various things I'm gonna need. We're gonna start out with a 4x12 canvas. You can pick these up at Michael's or online. I actually got this whole set, a 12-pack for $4 at Ross Dress for Less of all crazy places. My canvas is a bit flimsy, so I'm going to spray the back of it just with a fine mist of water. And I'm going to add some heat. This is just an embossing tool. And then that helps to just firm up your canvas. This is just a little embossing tool. You can use a full-on heat gun. You could use a blow dryer if you didn't have anything else. So guys, I'm gonna use 3 of my favorite paint colors to create a beach background. First thing we're gonna do is we're going to lightly mist this canvas. I'm just gonna kind of smear it around just a bit. Hit it with just the slightest bit of heat. I don't need it to be ultra wet, but I do want a wet background to start my project, and I also want a moist brush. I'm gonna spray my brush as well. I'm gonna start out with my sand color, which is gonna be a Master's Touch Dark Titanium White. I'm just gonna put the smallest amount right down here at the bottom. We're just going to come back and forth and get this paint on here. It really glides when the canvas has just a bit of moisture. We do want to take that color over the edge here. Okay. So we've got our dark titanium white. We're gonna come right in the center and put just a bit of white. This is just a titanium white. This one happens to be Premier Acrylics, but Master's Touch or any of the others would work just fine. We're just gonna blend some white down into this. I kind of took my white up to the top as well. Just gonna paint my sides here. And then I'm gonna grab this blue, it's by Artist Loft, it's called Light Blue. And I'm just gonna put the tiniest amount right there at the top. Using the same brush, we're just going back and forth here. I'm gonna pull this down. I am gonna need a touch more. Just a touch more than that. I'm just gonna put it, woo, that sprayed out on me. Shot out like a rocket. I'm gonna put it on the top here, which that's a pretty vibrant blue. I don't want it to be quite that bright. So we're gonna blend that out with some white, which is why I already had just a touch of white on the top of my canvas there, just to dull out that blue ever so slightly. Just gonna pull it down into the white. Kind of in the center a bit more than anywhere else. Just gonna grab just the slightest bit of white right on my brush there. Just gonna dull this bright tone here right out on the top. There we go. And we just have the nicest beach scene to start with. We're gonna dry it up. And I do think that this is blended just a touch more than I really want it to. I do want to see just a bit of white in the center there. So I'm just going to come in with the slightest bit of white here and drag that, kind of blend it right back in. I just want to see some white tones where it's not all blue and off-white. You can work with this back and forth, blending in the colors as you need to create the colors that you like. Don't be afraid to experiment. Half the time, the success in art is mostly due to your ability to step out of your comfort zone and just play with things. Okay, so there we go. We've got our beach background. Now what are we gonna do? You guys, I've got two little oyster shells here. I've got two of just the smallest little, let me wipe my hand because that's probably going to be distracting to you. I've got two of the smallest little shells. I've got a piece of spaghetti. Isn't that crazy? A piece of spaghetti. It's going to be our little legs. And I'm going to show you how we're going to create this. So if I pull this back, this is what we're creating right here. And this is where we're at right now. So we are going to, and I'm just going to put down just the slightest bit of glue on this. The resin will help hold this down, but we're going to put just a little bit of glue to help it. I like this Aleene's clear tacky gel. I feel like it works nicely, and I'm just going to kind of angle him up just a little bit. Same thing with our little bird over here. You're just going to kind of find the high points where it might be touching the canvas and add your glue there. The little dark spots where the where everything was inside of this already looks like a wing, so it's perfect. I am going to grab just a little of this clear tacky gel too and glue down our little beak. There we go. Okay. Tuck him up just ever so slightly more. There we go. So it's the shell, it's their little beak, and then we're just going to break this spaghetti and add in some legs. And we just want the legs to be kind of tucked up under the edge of our shell. Just to look like two little stick legs there. Okay. They're so easy to break. You could use all kinds of things for the legs. We could even paint this spaghetti black, or we could stain it, but this natural color is going to work just fine. Okay, from there, I'm just going to take some crushed shell and some clear glass, and we're just going to sprinkle it along the base here. The crushed shell is just going to come right along the bottom. We're just gonna sprinkle this right along the bottom here. And flatten it out a bit. Sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error. I am going to grab just this small little paintbrush that's clean. I'm just going to push this crushed shell around a bit where I want it. Make sure it's off my leg a little. Pull some pieces over. Kind of flatten it out a bit. Pull away that excess. Okay, and then we've got just the cutest little basin here for the start of our project. Just gonna scoop that away. And then we're just gonna grab some clear glass. You guys, I teach women how to do this over on my page. You can find kits at Deep South Shelling. You can find tutorials at Creative Business Challenge. I teach women how to sell their crafts in booths and in person, their physical crafts that they've created. We talk about how to sell those to generate income for their families over at creativebusinesschallenge.com if you guys want to take a look at that. And I've got free tutorials that I am doing all the time on Metal Modern Design, which is my page on Facebook. It's me on Instagram. It's me on Pinterest, on YouTube. So wherever you like to watch crafters, I'm there. I'm busiest on Facebook, however. Let me pull that leg back down just slightly. Let me grab my tweezers and I'm just gonna pull that leg right back down. Okay, and so we've just got this little bit of crushed glass, crushed shell. Sometimes your pieces will be a bit bigger than you really want them. You just don't use those. So we'll toss them aside. And that's it. That's our whole scene. From here, all we have to do is mix some resin. Well, first we elevate our piece, then we're gonna mix our resin. Why are we elevating our piece? So that if the resin accidentally runs off, it runs off and it doesn't adhere our piece to our surface. I'm using a silicone mat underneath some paper. And so if you do this at home, you'll want to make sure that you are working on a protected surface. In addition to that, I'm going to grab some nitrile gloves, which you will want to have on hand if you're going to be using resin. It's going to protect your skin. The resin I use is art resin. It is non-toxic, but some people can still have allergies, so we just want to take all the proper precautions that we can now. Let me dump this. I'm going to use this tiniest little mixing cup here. Make sure I get any of that debris out of there that I didn't want in there. And then I've got my resin and my hardener over here, which I'm just going to measure out. This is going to take me just under 1 ounce. So I'm going to mix a 50-50 solution. It's 1 part resin and 1 part hardener. And then from here, I'm just going to grab a popsicle stick and I'm going to stir for 3 full minutes. Hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. Starting now.
Now a lot of people tell you that it's best to do this with a silicone stirrer. I'm using such a little amount, I don't really have one that's small enough for this, so this popsicle stick's gonna work just fine. Hey Google, stop timer. And so then we're just gonna start by drizzling just the smallest bit of resin right over the glass. We're going to take it right up to the edge of our oyster shell there. going to come right along the base here and drizzle this all across the bottom, across our little spaghetti legs there. Just smoothing this out, taking it right up to all of our edges. It's a process, but it's not terribly hard, friends. Smooth it right around our edges here. Smooth off any drips that may have happened if it's come over my edge. And just keep smoothing it here, right around our edges. And then we're ready to add just a bit of heat to pop those bubbles. And friends, it's just that quick and easy. We'll let this sit for about 12 hours. It'll take 12 hours to dry. Takes 36 to fully cure, 36 to 72 really to fully cure. And then it's ready to go. Super easy craft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me angle you up. Again, I'm Amanda from Metal Modern Design. If you want to follow me, please click over to follow me on my page there or to check out any of my other resources. You guys be blessed, take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye now.